So let's check out this Texas Standard Acknowledgement for Estate Planning Documents. This is a sample example of what one looks like, the notarial cert. So it says state of Texas. So if you're in the state of Texas, you would leave that alone. If you weren't in the state of Texas, you would want to cross that out. And then you would go ahead and put the state that you're in. So let's say we're in Florida. You would write Florida right on top of here. And then you would go ahead and initial. Then you would go ahead and initial here. I'm going to put notary initials. So then you would go ahead and initial here. Nice and small. You don't want it to look obnoxious. Nice and small. I'm going to make that a little bit smaller here. Okay. Go ahead and initial that. And then you would go ahead and put your county, or whatever your county would be. For this example, we're going to use Lake. Okay. Now it says, before me, a notary public on the day personally appeared, name of person signing. So the name of the person signing, you would fill into that box here. Okay. Let's just fill, even though it's filling in with that. This is just a tricky to get you to learn. Be John Doe. It'd be a line there. If you, sometimes you might actually see it like this, and that is because there was like an error in the code or for the documentation, because I've seen that happen before. It actually has a code handle. But it should be a line blank. But if that does happen and the code is there, then you would just put John Doe right above name of person signing, or put John Doe on the line. Known to me or proven to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person whose name is subscribed to the foregoing instrument, and acknowledged to me that the executed the same for the purpose of consideration therein express, given under my hand and seal of office this day. So this blank day, remember our number this year is going to be 7. 7 is our lucky number. So keep that in mind. Okay. When we run our little contest and stuff, 7 is that lucky number. So 2024, our lucky number is 7. Then fill in the date given under my hand and seal of office the 7th day of February 2024. You would then put your notary signature. The state you are in. Notarizing, it's the state where you have your notary license, but in order to notarize, you have to be in that state. So it's going to be Florida. So say I'm a New Jersey notary, right? I can't notarize in New York unless I'm also a New York notary. And if I'm notarizing a document in New York, I must use my New York notary stamp. I can't use my New Jersey notary stamp. So it'd still be the state that you're in. However, the county, if the county was underneath the notary name, it's the county where you are commissioned in, where you got your commission from. So that would be, like if you're in New York, that would be Kings County, or it depends on the county you got it from. If you're in New Jersey, it could be Morris County or Sussex County. Whatever office you applied and you went to get sworn in that county, that's the county that would go underneath the notary signature if it said, here, county of. Now, when the county is above the notary signature, it's the county where you are notarizing the document at that time. So I don't know why I put February here. Sorry about that. Long day. I try to make these classes in between notarizing docs, closing, and a number of other things that I'm doing. So let's get this going here. State, we got Lake. State of New Florida, so we got Florida on top. Okay. Then you want to put your expiration date. and your notary stamp. I always make it best practice to always use blue because blue is one of the most popular color stamps to use. However, you will sometimes get instructions that they want you to use black ink or only use blue ink, or they won't tell you at all. When they don't tell you, I always tell people go with blue because it's safer. But sometimes they will tell you to use black ink or blue ink. They will identify what kind of ink to use. So now this here is filled out correctly. We didn't miss anything here, okay? So we're going to go down to the next one. This one is an acknowledgement with proven identity for estate planning documents, okay? This one to me looks similar to the one we did on the other one, so we won't fill this one out. I'm going to leave some stuff for you to trial and error. And if you run into an issue, just reach out to me, send me the screenshot, and I'll walk you through it. But I want you guys to be able to do some on your own, okay? We do offer the notary certification, training and tests as well. So let's go over to here. We have an example of a standard acknowledgement for a joint estate planning document, okay? So here we have our state, our county. This is all the same stuff. So you know it's the state you're in, the county. Not going to fill that out. You guys should have that part down packed by now. On this blank day of blank 2024. So the date of the date that it is. So if it's the 7th or the 8th or whatever day it is today that you're doing the notarization, you put the day. And then the month of is for the month. Put February. Okay. Before me, a notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared blank and blank, known to me to be the person whose name and subscribed to the foregoing instrument, and acknowledged that they executed the same for the purpose therein contained. So, I always say to read it in full. Read the whole paragraph so that you grasp it, so that way you can understand what can possibly go into those blanks. So it's saying personally appeared blank and blank. So those would be the names of the people signing. In this case, if it's only one person signing, which we're going to use that because it's a really good example. If there's only one person signing, we would then put in that person's name. And then I like to, and I make it a best practice, to put a line through the other one. So that way they know that that was only one person and no one can go and fill in another person's name without, I put a line there to just let them know that this is blank and that person is the only person who signed. Of course, you put your notary signature. I think we didn't mention it on the previous page, but when you sign, if your signature is not readable, you want to go ahead and print your name. Best practices. I always tell people best practice. What does best practice? Let's cross that out. Okay. So you want to print your name. Okay? Nice and small below, underneath here. I think that one's the bigger one. Let's get the smaller one. I think this is the smaller one. Yeah, print your name. Stamp. Okay? So let's check out another one. Sign, stamp, print your name. Now this one here is a little bit different. This is a California standard acknowledgement for joint estate planning docs. So in this case, we're in California. So the state of California, we're going to leave that as. But if we wasn't in the state of California, we still got to fill this out. We'd cross out California like we did on the other one. So let's do it again here. Make sure we got this. If you guys have your books and you have your pencil, you could be filling this out. So you have this as well. So you can go back to your notes on how to fill out these documents. And this is why we're going over this with you. So you can go back to your book and you'll have all the answers and you'll know where to go. Because when people provide you with these documentation, it is confidential and sensitive information. You're not supposed to be sharing it with unauthorized people. And sometimes, people black it out, cross it out. However, a lot of times I've seen documents where you could see still through the little color that they try to color it out with. So you don't want to have to do that. You want to be able to go to your notes, go to your booklets and find out how do you notarize this document, or go to your contact. And if you don't want to ask your contact, you can always rely on a notary audio book to assist you in how to fill out that cert. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and cross this out. Just pretend we're not in California. What happens when we cross it out? We initial. Nice and small. Gonna make this a little bit smaller. You make it smaller, but because you can see how it could look a little bit funny when it's bigger on the documents. It makes the document look a little bit not too neat or professional. So, all right, and then you would go ahead and put in the county again. All right, then on blank before me. So on is, they're basically asking you on this day. So you could put this in different ways. You could write, if you have like really good, because that's not a lot of space, on the 4th day, in this case we're doing 7, right? So on the 7th day, comma, February, comma, 2024, or you could just put on, some people put 2/7/2024. I wouldn't recommend putting 2/7/2024 in that spot. So I usually do on February 7th, 2024. So this is how I would do that one. I don't think I have that date written out. So we're going to go ahead and create an element. I just love this PDF markup. On date. All right. So you would do just like this. On February 7th, 2024, before me, you're going to put your name, the notary's name. So this is how I have it this way. This is how I did it a while back. Some of these are from our videos from last year. When we do our videos, we learn new tricks and stuff. Notary name. So then we put before me. So the before me, let me edit this. Sir. So you're going to put comma, notary public. Let's put a comma in the front there for us. Probably shrink this down just a little bit, so we could probably try to fit that title in there. All right, notary name, comma, notary public. Personally appeared, John Doe. I don't accidentally write John Doe on these papers because I keep saying John Doe, unless the person in front of you signing name is John Doe. And you're going to put the second person name if there is a second person. If not, we're going to put a dash if it's just one person signing before you. I certify under penalty of perjury under the law of the state of California that the foregoing paragraph is true and correct. So then you have the notary state of California. So let's just say we are, well, we're going to stick to what we had there before. So let's just put the notary signature. We are in Florida. So we're going to put Florida here. Okay, we're going to initial. And then we're going to put an expiration date. And stamp. And that's that there. All right. So let's go over this page 29. Page 29 is a standard acknowledgement for joint estate planning in Colorado. And it's similar to the rest of them that we did. So we're not going to go over this. However, let's go over this one here. So we have acknowledgement with separate appearance for estate planning documents. So what that basically means is that the company who sent you this document knows that one of the people who are signing is not going to be there on that day when you go and bring the documents or when you're there sign it. They gave us the courtesy of creating two separate notarial languages on that cert, whereas in most cases they don't. And they have both people's name and then you have to cross one out, or when you're filling in the names, you just put one in. So I like it when they do give us that, where they have it with the two separate languages there, because it makes it easier. So in this case, this is what you would do. You would put the state that you're in. So in this case, we're in Florida, right? This would be blank. It'd just be a line. So you'd put Florida there in the line. Then you'd have Lake, because that's the county we just choose to use. So you put Lake there. Now, if you ever see, and I mentioned this to you guys before, something like this actually on the what should be a blank line, that is an error in code, and you just write right above it, nice and small and neatly. You can also, what I would recommend, because it's there on the document, is put a line through it, like this. And just initial it. And just like initial it. That's what I would do. Let's make that longer just for now. Do the same thing here. Now, it is two separate crossouts, so you have to initial both. Okay? Even if you had cross out every single thing you wrote on this page, you have to initial them both. Try to make it neat, because then that's going to leave sloppy. You might just want to print out another sheet of paper, but in this case, you have to cross that out. All right. So then we have on this, of course, we know what comes after on this. We put the date, right? So on this 7th day of February, 2024. Before me, a notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared. You can put the name of the person who personally appeared. In our case, our favorite name is John Doe. Known to me to be one of the persons whose names are subscribed to the foregoing instrument, and acknowledge that they executed the same for the purpose therein contained. You're going to go ahead and use the rest of that document to notarize it. The other notary is going to notarize and stamp below, or they're going to attach their own acknowledgement, which you really don't have to because that's there, but they're going to have to sign here and stamp. So then you're going to go ahead and notarize this. Okay. Print your name, your expiration date, and your stamp. Now, if you are the notary that is now also taking this document to the second person, you just bring this and only have your signature, print your name and stamp. But if you were sending this over to, let's say, another state, California or something, then that other notary would fill that out, signs and stamp, and print the name as well. Okay? So that's how you would fill this out. So let's go to page 30. Same thing, county, date, sign, print name, expiration date, Name a person signing before you. Want to fill that out. Next. This is acknowledgements. We're going to cut that out. So on page 32 is an example of an acknowledgement. The page before that goes over what acknowledgements are and how you're supposed to execute an acknowledgement. Okay? Always ensure that the acknowledgement follows the requirement and laws for your specific jurisdiction. Okay? Now, in this case here, you're going to put, of course, the state, the county, the day, 7th, or whatever the day is, the month, the year, the person who personally appeared before you, notary signature, print your name, expiration date, stamp. Sometimes you won't see the expiration date, sometimes it will. This is just an example. Okay? Now, if you are a corporate officer, this is a little bit done differently. So let's go through this one here. Okay? So we're going to put our county on the blank line, because that should be a blank line. Our state on this 7th day of February. Try to get February to fit in there, right? $2024. You gotta make sure they can read it though. 2024. So in this case, I would write February going like this. February like a little bit up. Okay, if you couldn't get in there. Fine point pens, people. Fine point pens. I recommend those. Before me, a notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared. The person who personally appeared before you. In this case, it's our best friend, John Doe. Known to me or satisfactorily proven to be the blank, which is the title of blank corporation. The corporation that executed the within instrument and acknowledged that he/she as such blank being authorized so to do execute the same for the purpose therein containing by signing the name of the corporation by himself as, okay, to be the blank title. So John Doe in this case, we're going to just say he's the president. So in this case, this document told us the title goes there. Sometimes it does not tell you, like in some of the ones we went over already. So the president of blank, in this case, is ABC LLC. Corporation, the corporation that executed the with an instrument and acknowledged that he or she, and I like to just make it a habit to underline the he or the she. If the person uses a pronoun, just don't underline it, just leave it. But I do. As such, okay, so just as such, blank, being authorized to do so. That's the role, as such, role, that's the role. So it's basically saying that John Doe is the president of ABC LLC. As such, president being authorized to do so. You see how it goes, how that fits, and it continues? So we're going to go ahead and put the role that that person plays. In this case, is the president. Being authorized to do so, executed the same for the purpose therein contained by signing the name of the corporation by himself or herself as president. The role, yep, the role. And if you want to underline himself, the notary would then go ahead and stamp. Sign. Print name. Expiration date. Stamp. And that's how you would fill that acknowledgement for a corporation officer if it was laid out like that. That's just an example, okay? This acknowledgement is used to confirm that a corporate officer, in this case, the president of ABC LLC, named John Doe, appeared before the notary and acknowledged signing the documents on behalf of the corporation for its intent purposes. That's what that cert is basically doing, okay? So let's go to the next one. Make sure you fill this out in your book. So when you go to your book, you already have it filled out. So if you need any help, you have your book to always turn to. All right, this next one here is acknowledgement for an attorney in fact. This is a sample, okay? So let's go to this. We're not going to cross anything out. We're going to make it kind of simple. I try not to keep the videos drawn out and long, but everyone learns at different levels. You could speed up by going to settings on the YouTube video and speed it up. You could skip through the repetitive parts. You know, some people like to see it more than once. And that's the great thing about having this video and also being able to listen to it. Play it on your own time. You go through it on your own pace. You can always come back to it within, okay, 7th. So the 7th day of February. I'm just going to continue. Sometimes I'll be talking, but I'm continuing just not to try to save some time on these videos so they're not so long. Before me, a notary public in or for said county and state personally appeared, the person who appeared before you, personally appeared Jane Smith, known to me or satisfactorily proven to be the person who executed the with an instrument as the attorney in fact of John Doe, and acknowledged that he or she executed the same as the act of John Doe. Okay, now you're the notary going to sign, print your name, expiration date, stamp. So basically in this example here, Jane Smith is the attorney in fact who signed on behalf of John Doe. The notarization confirms that Jane Smith appeared before the notary and acknowledged signing the documents as the act of John Doe, for whom she holds power of attorney. So this person has to have had power of attorney in order to sign on behalf of John Doe. So when someone comes to you signing with a power of attorney, they must also have the original power of attorney form with them so that you can use that to verify that they are able to sign on behalf of the person that they're signing on. And they must also bring their valid ID so you can make sure that the name on that power of attorney matches the name on that person's ID who's in front of you signing on behalf of John Doe in this case. All right, we're going to make this smaller because we're not supposed to stamp or write or sign over any of the text in the documentation. Because someone could say, oh, I didn't see that blocked it, or et cetera, et cetera. So not even a little bit. Don't, just make it best practice. The next example we're going to go over is acknowledgement of a public officer, trustee, executor, administrator, guardian, or other representative. So, same thing. We're just going to fill this out because we don't want anyone to say, well, you left that out, so we didn't fill it out. But I'm letting you know, like sometimes I'm going to skip through things just to keep these videos a little bit short. You know, I don't want to take up a lot of your time, but I want you to learn the important stuff and what you need to do so that you guys are notarizing these documents correctly. I've seen tons of documents not notarized correctly, and it just hurts the person who is trying to get the document notarized, you know, or need the document notarized. On this 7th day of February 2024, before me, a notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared, favorite people. So John Doe known to me or satisfactorily proven to be the blank title of blank name of public body trust estate, who being by me duly sworn or affirmed acknowledge that he or she executed the within instrument the capacity for the purpose therein contained. So once again, it tells you the title. Now you know that this is probably a public officer, trust, executor, administrator, guardian, or a representative. So in this case here with John Doe, known to you satisfactorily to be they will let you know the document, the top of the document will have the title. So this is an estate. So it would have something that says whether it was a trustee or executor. Executed. So in this case, he is actually the executor. So I don't think I have that here created yet. So in this case, he's actually the executor. That's the title of, this is an estate. So whose estate? So actually it's Jane. So Joe. So we're just actually, we're going to Jane, because we're going to pretend like that continues from the POA signing above. So let's do person appear, Jane Smith. Known to be the person who's appearing and signing, who is the executor of the estate of John Doe. So we're going to have to actually create, actually just write this in here. East. There we go. Estate of John Doe. The acknowledgement serves to verify, okay, estate of John Doe, who, being by me duly sworn or affirmed, acknowledge that he or she executed the within instrument in the capacity and for purpose therein contained. So you got the date, the person who appeared before you, their title, and what they're entitled, what they're in charge of, the name of public body, trust, estate, etc., which is the estate of John Doe. If that's the name of it, the estate of John Doe could be called Lisa Estate or Joe Estate, whatever it is called, and you will know because it's on the documents. You would put it inside on that, above that blank. You would fill the blank in with that name. Then you would put the title of the estate, whatever that be. In this case, we will say it's Estate of John Doe. So you would put that there. You as a notary would then sign right here, print your name, nice and small, your expiration date, and stamped. Okay, this is a oath, so you want to make sure that you say the oath, okay, before you stamp and sign that documentation. Okay, these examples just demonstrate how specific details should be filled into a notarial acknowledgement depending on the context. Okay, so for an attorney, in fact, it is crucial to identify the individual acting under the power of attorney, the principal for whom they are acting, and acknowledge that the action taken is on behalf of the principal. For a public officer, trust executor, administrator, guardian, or other representative, the acknowledgement must identify the representative title or role, the entity of individual they represent, and confirm that they are executing the documents for the purpose described in their official capacity. Okay, remember the official capacity is the role that they're playing. These acknowledgments ensure that the signatory identity, authority, and understanding of the document purpose are formally recognized and documented by a notary public, providing legal assurance of the document execution. Let's just do what we're supposed to do, right? All the time. There we go. In this acknowledgement for the public officer, trustee, executor, administrator, guardian, or other representative, the notary does not typically recite an oath aloud for the signatory to repeat. Instead, the notary ensures that the signatory acknowledge, affirmed, or swears their understanding and agreement to the statement within the acknowledgement, particularly regarding their capacity and the purpose of executing the documents. So, like the process, generally how the process would work is the first verifies the identity of the signatory and their capacity, whether that's the trustee, the executor, etc. This can be done through identification documents or other satisfactory evidence. The next thing is the signatory presents the documents to the notary to be notarized, indicating their role in the execution, whether they're a public officer or the executor. The notary then asks the signatory if they acknowledge or affirm that they have executed the documents in their stated capacity and for the stated purpose. This question is not like an oath that the signatory repeats, but rather a question they answered affirmatively, basically. So for an oath, the notary might say, do you swear or affirm that the statement in this document are true to the best of your knowledge and that you have executed it in your official capacity as whatever their title is of entity for its intent purposes, basically. Very important to remember that the exact wording and process might vary depending on the state laws and the notary practice. However, the essence of the acknowledgement is that the signatory personally affirm their actions and capacity in the relation to the document rather than repeating an oath dictated by the notary. So that's like the main difference there in this acknowledgement with the sworn and the affirmed statement within it. Okay? All right. Right. So on to affirmation jurat example. So we got a state, a county, the date, the month. We can go ahead and put the year. So you're saying that scribe and affirm before me on the 7th day of February 2024 by the person who produced the ID and the person that you are notarizing is affirming to such. So we're going to say John Doe proven to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person who appeared before me. Then as a notary, you're going to go ahead and sign. Okay, so let's go down here. You're going to get your notary pen. You're going to sign, print your name, put your expiration date. You're going to stamp. Never stamp over wordings or write over the wordings, because somebody could say they didn't see it because of this covered this, or it get very technical sometimes. Okay, so affirmation jurat basically is used when an individual affirms to the truth of the content of a document without taking an oath before identity. This is common in a situation where the individual has religious or personal reasons for avoiding oaths. Okay, now you can learn more about this, the pages before the script in the book. Make sure you guys get the book, read the pages, fill in the blanks. So whenever you find yourself working on having to notarize a type of document that's like that one or with that cert, you can just go in your book and you can look at it. You don't want to be posting documentations with people sensitive information online or sending it to strangers, because that is a no-no. So let's go to the deposition jurat example. The deposition jurat is utilized during the taking of a deposition where the deponent, the person giving the testimony, swears to the truth of their testimony before a notary public. The presence of an attorney for both parties is noted, which is typically in a legal process. So within a legal proceeding. So I'm not sure if some of you have done that before. Scroll down. Florida, county. Sworn to and subscribed before me on this blank day of blank 20 blank by the signer, of course, John Doe. Could put the dates in. Remember, I always say to read it in full so that way you understand it. Because when you read it in full rather than just in parts, you understand it better before you accidentally type in the wrong thing and then you have to put a cross out. So the deponent is the deponent in the presence of blank attorney for blank and blank attorneys for blank. So basically, in this situation, John Doe, the deponent in the presence of the name of his attorney. Okay, so what is the name of his attorney? We're gonna say his name of his attorney is say his name is Executor, because I don't have to create another thing because I don't have extra names. I should create extra names, but I always delete them. So in the presence of Executor attorney, his attorney name is Executor, guys. Okay, for blank and blank attorney for. So Executor is attorney for, can't be for John Doe because the opponent in the presence of blank attorney for blank. So we're going to put the attorney for ABC LLC. So Executor is the attorney for ABC LLC. Okay? Attorney for ABC LLC. And Maria Gonzalez and president is the attorney for whatever other corporation or for John Doe. So and president is the attorney for, see, he's being represented. An attorney for John Doe. Let's just use John Doe again. And the attorney for John Doe. So this is basically how you would fill, something like how you fill this out. So just read it in full and then you understand. They're asking you for the name of the attorneys and the attorney, who the attorney is there for. So you don't have to assume this. You will know. They will tell you because you're going to be in the room with everyone there. So you would know who the attorneys are and who the attorneys are for, and you fill that blank in, okay? Verifying that those attorneys are who they say they are as well. And then you're going to go ahead and notarize. Then you're going to go ahead and notarize the document. Actually, let's just take this from here. Notary signature, print your name, nice and small, expiration date, and your stamp. Okay? That's the deposition jurat example. Okay? So let's go on to the next one, which is the affidavit jurat example. So that basically applies when a affiant, basically the person who wrote and is signing the affidavit, swear to the truth of the statement within the affidavit in front of a notary public. Okay? So the same thing here. You're going to go ahead and put your state. You're going to go ahead and put your county. You're going to go ahead, read this in full. Sworn to and subscribed before me on this blank day of blank 20 blank by blank, the affiant, who acknowledged that he, she executed the affidavits for the purpose therein contained. So, same thing. This one's a simple one as well. Put the dates. By the affiant. You can look at the paper, you can see who the affiant is, of course, and make sure that that name is also on the ID that the person is presenting you with, a valid ID, and it matches. They're going to sign that document, and you're just doing your part at the bottom as well, which is signing, printing your name, your expiration date if it's asked, and then your notary stamp. And that's basically the affidavit jurat example right there. So we're going to go on to the next. Keep it moving, So this is an example of a California affidavit jurat example. This example is specific to California and details the jurat process, where the signer, John Doe in this case, personally appeared before a notary public, say the notary public name is A and B, acknowledging executing the document and swear to or affirm the truth of its content. The notary then certifies that the act by signing and applying their official seal. Remember, you always have to say the oath when the oath is due, okay? And in this case, I'm going to bring this screen up here where you see the subscribed and sworn statement. You got to make sure you do when you see the subscribed and sworn statement, you got to make sure the oath is done. So let's let's start working on this document. All right, so we're gonna be in California, and our county is gonna be Lake. I don't know if there's a county of Lake, but we're just gonna use Lake. Okay, but the county that you're in at the time of the signing on this 7th day of February 2024. Okay, before me, blank, a notary public. So of course you know what goes there because it's telling you you are the notary public. So you're gonna print your name in, and you're not gonna write print name. You're gonna put your name. Okay, you the notary public. You're gonna put your name on that line. A notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared blank, known to me or proven to me on a bias of satisfactory evidence to be the person whose name is subscribed to the within instrument and acknowledged that they executed the same. So who appeared in front of you? John Doe. So let's go get John Doe. Okay. Subscribed and sworn to affirm before me on this blank day of blank 20 by blank who personally appeared before me satisfactorily proven to be the person described in and who executed the foregoing affidavits and acknowledged that they executed the same for the purpose therein contained. In witness whereof I have hereunto set my hand and official seal. So we're going to fill that out. Okay, if you want to go ahead, fill it out ahead of me and see if you have it right. Use a pencil so you can erase. That is perfect. Make sure when you notarize you are not using a pencil and that you are using a blue ink pen unless authorized or told to use a black ink pen or a different color pen. Okay. Then you, as a notary, going to go ahead, say your little oath. They accept the oath. You're going to use a stamp. See this area is small, so you pull out your mini stamp. You stick a little mini stamp in there. Okay. You're going to sign. Print our name. Put an expiration date. Now, if you are in California, which we are because we left the state of California at the top, then more than likely your notarization commission state is California. So you leave California there and you have that part. Okay. So let's go on to the next. Okay, so right now we're looking at a signature witness statement example. So the first example is a general format that could apply to any state, require the date or witnesses and the names of the signers. Okay, this is like an example of how notaries can document the witness of a signature, a key function of their role. The process includes verifying the signer's identity, ensuring the signers personally appeared before the notary and witnessed the signing act. So the way you would fill this out is basically here, state and county. So you put your state, okay? In this case, let's say we're in Florida, and you're going to put your county, which you know what our county is by now, Lake. Sign or test before me on blank by. So you have to put the date in here. So you're going to put the date, February 7th, 2024, or whatever the date is that you're doing this, by the person who is witnessing. Okay, then you as a notary are going to go ahead. Okay, now you as a notary are going to go ahead and sign, print your name. You're going to put your expiration date and your title of office, Notary Public, and your expiration date. And you're going to go ahead and stamp that. Okay, And that's how you fill out that standard example of this notarial language. That can be used for different things. This thing is a signature witness statement example, notarial cert, but it could have different types of different notarial certs for that one thing and different types of notarial languages on that cert. So let's see which the next one's going to be. So now we have another standard example. Okay. This example emphasizes the personal appearance of the signer before the notary on a specific date suitable for the document where the physical presence of the signer is crucial. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, look this up. We got state, county on this blank day of blank 2024. I attest that blank personally appeared before me and I signed the above date in my present and sign the above date in your presence. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead now that we read it in full. I always recommend that, especially for new notaries, that way you don't mess up. Okay, and you always want to start from the front, so left to right, so you don't accidentally miss something, get distracted, turn your head, come back and continue off, but didn't complete the front part but you was at the middle or something, and then you forget and you miss something. Okay, even though you got to double check, triple check your work, that John Doe personally appeared before me and signed the above document. All right, and we're going to go. Okay, we're going to go. You want to sign before you put your stamp. I just grab that because it's on top. And put the expiration date because it's on top. See how I did that? Because it seems easier. Never go for the easier. You want to make sure you don't mess up. You stamp, you thought you already signed because you're automatically always sign, print your name, then date, then stamp. So sometimes when you're doing a million things at once, your brain is like, well, I stamped, so I must have did everything else because that's normally. Gotta keep that in mind because that will happen sometimes. Okay? So that's how you fill that one out. So next we have the California standard example. So this is an example of a standard California notarial cert that may be used for a signature witness. So basically, in this cert is basically tailored for California, highlighting the notary acknowledgement that the signer known or satisfactorily proven to the notary appeared and executed the documents. So in these three examples, the notary basically notarized the documents. And in doing so, they pretty much certifies the event. They have their seal, their signature, the expiration date, the commission number. This process adds a level of trust and legality to the documents, ensuring that the signatures are genuine and willingly made. Okay, so let's go to complete this document here. Let's read it in full now. State of California, County of blank. On this blank day of blank 20 blank before blank and notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared blank. Known to me or proven to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person whose name is subscribed to the within instrument and acknowledge that they executed the same. Witness my hand and official seal. I speak fast naturally, so just trying to slow my speech down is sometimes a lot difficult than most may think. Okay, because I gotta be conscious that I'm slowing down. On this 7th day of February, or on the day, whatever the date is, whatever the month is, and whatever the year is. Because I don't want to keep saying that and then this gets stuck in your head and then you end up writing 7th day on all your documents. You don't want that. Okay? So then, the notary's name. You put my name, you're going to put your name, a notary public in the said state and county. You don't have to write it because it's said up here. Personally appeared, John Doe, come on down. Known to me or proven to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person whose name is subscribed to the within instrument and acknowledgement that they executed the same. Witness my hand or seal. You're going to go ahead and do it in order so we don't mess up or forget something. Signature. Print your name. In this instance, since we are now in we use California, so let's say we're in California. But if we weren't in California, we would cross this out, put the correct state, cross this out, put the correct state that you're notary in. But in this instance, we are in California. Keep forgetting that. We're traveling around the world in this tutorial, aren't we? So see how we had Florida up here? We would then have to cross this out and put Florida as well, because you can't be in the state of Florida and be a California. Oh no, this is different. Okay, this is down here. Okay, so same thing here. Oh, we're staying in California, so we're good here. Okay, so this is good. Okay, and now we're gonna go ahead and put our stamp. You could put your stamp here or here. It doesn't really matter. Just don't want to put it too far from your signature. Like up here, no. Your signature's here, you want to put it close to your signature. Preferably underneath, but if not, if it can't fit right there, is also perfectly fine. Okay, so on to the notarial copy certification statement example. This example is more general and could apply to a variety of documents. It is often used for certifying copies of documents. The notary whose signature would be at the bottom certifies that they have seen the original document in the possession of the person named, in this case, we would say John Doe, and that the copy is true and correct. The date of the original document and the date of the certification are both noted. Okay? So these examples basically showcase the different roles of a notary public may fulfill for administrating oath and administrating to certify the accuracy of a document's copy. Fill this document out. So we're going to say state of blank, county of blank. I certify that this is a true and correct copy of a document in the possession of blank date blank on 20 blank date this blank day of blank 20 blank. Okay? Then notary signs and so forth. So let's go through this really quickly again. You guys filling out your books? Okay, so we put the state that we're in. Okay, I certify that this is a true and correct copy of a document in the possession of who is the document in possession of? The person who is signing and telling you that this is a true and correct copy, and they have to prove to you with ID, valid ID. Okay, dated. The date that the document was dated is what you want to put in here. So this is a little bit different. So in this case, we're going to put February 7th, dated fit that in there. Make sure they can read it. 2024. Dated this. Dated this, and you're going to put today's date. So just so happened that it's dated the same day that they're getting it notarized in this case. So you put the date of today. So the date there is dated. So that means what's the date on the document that you are saying is true and correct copy? That's the date. You as a notary would then go ahead and notarize this document. Signature, print, expiration date, stamp. And that's done. For more information on that, if you go to pages before this notarial cert, you will see examples of what you can't and can notarize is a true and correct copy. All right, so affidavits notarization with known identity example. These examples illustrate different scenarios where an individual identity is confirmed either through a personal knowledge of the notary or through a satisfactory evidence such as identification documents. The affidavit is then either sworn to or affirmed, depending on the signatory, preference or legal requirements. So let's go. So basically, in this, you would read it, of course, in full. State of, the state you're in. County of, the county you're in. Subscribed and sworn to or affirmed before me on this day, whatever the day is. You could say the 7th day of whatever the month is, say February 2024, whatever the year is, by blank, known to me to be the person whose name subscribed to with affidavits. So by John Doe in this case, but in your case, it'd be the person who you are notarizing, and that you also know, because you're saying that you know this person as such and such. So I know John Doe as John Doe. So by John Doe, known to me to be the person whose name is subscribed to within the affidavits. And you're going to go ahead and sign. Mind you, the name is in the affidavit. So the document that this cert is on would have that person's name as well. Keep that in mind. You're going to sign, print your name, expiration date, stamp. Make sure your stamp fits in here. Do not stamp over any of the wording. Okay? Sometimes I'm going to fill in the thing. Sometimes I'm not. I'm just going to point and you guys could fill it in just to help make the video go a little bit faster. The next one's affidavit notarization with proven identity example. So state of, blank, the state you're in. County of, the county you're in. Subscribe and swore to or affirm before me on this blank day of blank 20 blank by blank, proven to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person whose name is subscribed to within the affidavits. So this is saying this person provided you with proof of identity. So you're going to put your state, the county you're in, the date. So if it's the 13th, the 14th, whatever the day is, you're going to put it there. Not Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, but actual date of February, the year 2024 by, look at the document. That name of the document must match the name on that person's ID. That's and that person is who that person is. So then you put their name there. In this case, it's John Doe. Okay. Which he has proven identity, so that's why they have this right here. The notary is going to sign, print the name, put the expiration date, stamp. The next one here is affidavit notarization with affirmation. This is an example of that. So this is state of, the state you're in, the county you're in. Subscribe and affirm before me on this blank day of blank 20 blank by blank, proven to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person who appeared before me. Okay? So then you're going to go ahead, put the date, whichever date it is, the 8th, the 9th, the 10th, not Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, the month, the end of the last 2 digits of the year, by the person's name who's on the document, who's also provided you with the ID that matches the ID in their hand. In our case, John Doe. Notary signs, print their names, expiration date, stamp. Okay? So this here is a basic power of attorney, example of a basic power of attorney. Okay? Just wanted to provide this disclaimer. We are not attorneys and cannot provide legal advice. This is not legal advice. Okay? That's just how I would fill this out. So basically, I blank, name of the principal or address, here appoints name of agent of address as my attorney in fact to act on my behalf in the matter related to specific authorities or general authorities. So in this book, it's going to go over with you who the principal, the agent, and so forth is, so help you to understand what you see here. I'm just going to go in with you and tell you how to fill this out. So basically, I, John Doe of wherever John Doe lives, hereby appoints Jane Smith of whatever Jane Smith address is as my attorney in fact to act on my behalf in all matters related to specific authority or general authority. So they would have related to, and they would have the type of power of attorney it is. And sometimes they'll break it down, etc. I can't go into that with you because I can't give legal advice, but it just says specific authority or general authority, and it'll just be filled in with all the information. It could be pages or not. Okay? I affirm that I am over the age of 18 of sound mind and have not been coerced or unduly influenced in any way to sign this document. And that principal, person giving rights to someone else, will then sign, and then usually there'll probably be witnesses on places for the witnesses also sign, and you must have a witness that is not a party to, that's not privy to the transaction, like not privy, but will benefit from that transaction. Okay, so when I say transaction, I mean notarial transaction. This notarization that's happening right now, it's a form of transaction. So then you as a notary are going to go ahead and put your state, your county, And I'm just going to plug that in, even though I think you can, but I'm going to do it just to help you guys out here. State and county, okay? On this, and then you put in the date, whatever day it is at that time, the number of the day, not the month, not the Monday, Tuesday, not the days of the week. February 24. Before me, a notary public in and said state personally appeared, and you'll put the principal name, John Doe, known to me to be the person whose name is subscribed to the foregoing instrument, and acknowledge that he or she, you can underline whether or not it was a he or a she. If the pronoun is not there and you think they may have an issue with you doing that, just don't do it. Executed the same for the purpose of therein contained. Then we're going to go ahead and notarize this document that I'm talking about. When you do that, that can happen. It doesn't happen like a lot. It's just, it can happen. So just to prevent it from happening, you just continue to use best practice. So in this example of the power of attorney, okay, the principal signs the document and their signature is notarized to verify that their identity and willingness to grant the powers described in a power of attorney documentation. Okay, so let's go to the next. So in this case, it's a power of attorney revocation example. If you read the pages before this, I'll give you some more information on that. Basically, you would just fill this out. First, you read it in full because it's going to come to you blank. Sometimes it would automatically be filled in, and the people, if it comes to you blank, has to fill in, the names and so forth. So in this case, I blank name of principal, which would be the person giving up their rights to someone else to be their power of attorney. So I, John Doe, name of principal of, okay, the address. Hereby revoke, cancel, and rescind the power of attorney I grant to the name of the agent, the person who was given to. Remember, it was Jane Smith, Jane Smith. Now, sometimes you won't see address here, so, but you put the address. So, and this is a revocation. So what's happening? John Doe is taking away his power of attorney from Jane Smith on the blank day of blank. So in this case, you put whatever day it is, so the 7th day of February, 2024. I declare the power of attorney is null and void and of no further force or effect from the day forward. Okay? Then you'd go ahead, put in today's date, and then the principal, the John Doe, is going to sign here. Then you're going to go ahead and put your state, the county, the date, the month, the year, before you, the notary, who personally appeared, okay, with proven satisfactory evidence and who is sound in mind. You also want to make sure when someone is signing, especially a power of attorney, that they are sound in mind, okay? And they're not being coerced, but that's always the case. You always want to make sure someone's not being coerced. Then you as a notary is going to notarize, put your state, and put your expiration date. This is an example of how you fill this form out, okay? So let's go to another one. Okay, so this is a power of attorney, one of an acknowledgement example, okay? So state of the state you're in, the county that you're in, on this, the date. So say 7th day of February, 2024. Before me, the notary, put in your name, public, and for said county and state personally appeared, John Doe, known to me or proven to me on the basis of satisfactory evidence to be the person whose name is subscribed to within instrument, acknowledge that they have executed the same for the purpose of consideration, therein expressing, and witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and official seal. Then you sign, print your name, put your state, and your expiration date, and the stamp. This is an example pertaining to the notarization of a secrecy agreement in, let's say, in California in this case. It includes the acknowledgement by the signatory in the case Jane Doe and John Doe of the execution of the agreement in their authorized capacity. The notary certifies the signatories' identities, their understanding and agreement to the document terms, and affirm the truth of the statement under penalty of perjury as per California law. This is an example, okay? So basically we're in California, so you're going to put your California county name. I'm not sure if there's a county in California called Lake, but like I said, this is just for example purposes, okay? Showing you how we do stuff. So we have our county. Now on blank date before me, blank, notary name, notary public, personally appeared blank, who proved to me on a basis of satisfactory evidence to be the people whose name is subscribed to within instrument and acknowledged to me that they executed the same in the authorized capacity and that by their signatures on this instrument the person or the entity upon behalf of which the people acted executed the instrument, I certify under penalty of perjury under the law of the state of California that the foregoing paragraph is true and correct. So we have to put the date in here. So you could write it this way, or you could put the February 7th, I'm gonna write it small, before you, the notary, yes. So you're gonna put your name in here. Appeared before us was John Doe, There we go, John Doe. All right, and then you're gonna go ahead as a notary. Okay, and you're gonna go ahead as a notary. And you're going to sign, stamp, put your expiration date. There you go. Like that. So we're going to continue with these examples how notarization statements for different legal documents might be completed. In each case, the notary public must verify and verifies the identity of the parties involved, whether they're the lessee, the lessor, the transferor, the transferee, or the grantor or the grantee, and confirms that they have acknowledged, executed the documents for its intent purpose, okay? And the notary basically does their notarization. So let's look at this lease agreement right here. All right, so you got your state, the county. On this blank, before me, a notary public in the said county and state personally appeared the lessor, which is blank, and blank, which is the authorized signatory name, known to me to be the person whose name are subscribed to the foregoing instrument and acknowledged that the executed the same for the purpose therein contained. Okay? So basically in this, you're going to put on this the date, whatever the day is. So say February 7th, before me, in Notary Public. You don't have to put your name because they don't leave space for that. So sometimes you don't. In and for said county and state personally appeared. You can put the name of the lessor. It's going to be on the document. You're going to scroll up and you'll see the name on the document underneath lessor. So that's the lessor. And the authorized signatory name. You're going to put that authorized signatory name in there. Known to me to be the person whose names are subscribed to the foregoing instrument. So basically whatever's on that instrument, the rest of that documentation. Okay, so basically the instrument is the paper that you are stamping. You know, it has information above your notarial cert. Okay, in witness for whereof I have unto set my hand and affix my official seal, the day and year first above written. Okay, so you're gonna go ahead, sign, print your name, put your expiration date, and stamp. That one was pretty kind of simple. The only thing that makes it a little bit difficult is when you see these stuff like lessee, lessor, grantor, grantee, transferor, transferee, and you're like, who's who? There's a quick way to tell. If you check out in this book before this page here, it does teach you the differences and how to know and remember it, because sometimes you might forget. Okay, so make sure you read the book, guys. It's not just here so you can just watch how it feels and think. You got to read, you got to understand. The reason being is because there's some notarial certs that we may never see or I may have not have covered, and you might get it. And being able to read all these different notarial certs and languages and understanding them, when you see one that you barely ever saw. So in this case, this notarial cert down here, another example, it's state of, you're going to put the county, you're going to put the state, county of, you're going to put the county. On this date, you're going to put the date. You could type in the 20, you could type in the 7th day of February 2024. Sometimes I do that because I like to follow how they do it. So whenever I see it have on this, I just put whatever the day is. So let's say the 7th, on this 7th day of February 2024. I keep the format the same. So just putting in 2/7/2024 or February 7th, 2024. I follow the legal I follow the format that I see on the other documents. Before me, a notary public in and for said county and state personally appear. The transferor's name goes here and the transferee name goes here. Okay? known to me to be the person whose name are subscribed to the foregoing instrument and acknowledge that they have executed the same for the purpose therein contained. In witnessing whereof I have unto set my hand and fix my official seal the day and year first above written. When you get a document where it's cut off, I usually just sign, print my name, put my notary expiration date, and stamp. So I'll put my name like I'll show you right here, because that's your language, so it's there. Print your name and stamp. If most of the documents were asking, for your expiration date, then I would go ahead and put my expiration date here. If they weren't, then I really wouldn't. Okay, but let's put expiration, and I would write expiration date and put the date. Okay, rather than going to the next page. The example of a standard acknowledgement for a deed. Okay, so in this case, if there's a deed, we know that there's a grantor or grantee. So we would have the full deed in front of us also, which would also show grantor or grantee. So that's how we would know as well, for those who are new. All right, so then we have state of. We put the state of. Let's say this one is a New Jersey one, actually. So state of New Jersey. County of. You put the county that you're in New Jersey. And so we're going to put Lake. There is no Lake County in New Jersey. So you're going to put the county where you're is, which say Morristown. Let's do Morristown. Let's just write that out and put it right. Morris County. On this 7th day of 2024, before me a notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared, John Doe. But in your case, it's whoever appeared in front of you. Known to me to be the person whose name is subscribed to the foregoing instrument and acknowledge that they executed the same purpose therein contained. So you're saying that you know this person. So this example of acknowledgement of a deed is basically one for someone where the notary actually knows the person, because you're not active ID. You say personally known to you. Okay, and then you're gonna go ahead notarize this document. Put your stamp here. Okay. Notary signature. Sometimes it's small, so you gotta keep your signature kind of slow. Print your name and your expiration date. And that's how you do that. This is an example of the notarial language on a merge agreement. So state of, the state you're in, county, the county you're in, on this blank, which is a date, before me a notary public in and said for county and the state typically appeared, known to me and proven to me to be in the bias of satisfactory evidence. I'm going to let you guys continue to read, and then you basically fill in the blanks. State of, county of, and appeared, name of signatory, which is going to be on that document, so you'll know the name, and then you get the next blanks, which would be in their capacity, which is a title, whatever their role that they are. So in this instance, say CEO of ABC LLC, and then we're going to sign, expiration date, stamp, make sure you put your name. Okay. The next one we're going to go over. Okay, so the next one we're going to go over is, and the only reason why I'm showing these is because I want you to notice the indemnitor and indemnity, the transferor, the transferee. So just so when you see it, you have some reference to it. Okay. So you're going to read this. Okay, now that you finish reading it, you're going to fill it out. You're going to put the state of, the state you're in, the county that you're in. On this, you're going to put the date, the 22nd, or say we're with the 7th, so the 7th day of February, 2024. Before me, a notary public in and for said county and state personally appeared, the indemnitor, which usually it will be listed there who the indemnitor is, but if you read the pages before that, you also know how to tell the difference. And indemnity, you're going to put their name in there, known to me to be the person whose names are subscribed to the foregoing instrument and acknowledge that they executed the same for the purpose therein contained. Okay? And then you're going to go ahead and notarize the document. If you can fit it on the And you're going to go ahead and notarize the document. You could sign, notarize. There'll be the rest of the notarial language. I think it's on the second page. In this case, sometimes it cuts off. But if you could fit it, I always try to fit it instead of using the one on the second page. And that's basically our review of the Notary Ultimate Guidebook. This book basically covers tons of different types of documents as a notary you might be presented and have to notarize. And it basically just goes over with you, you know, what the different types of documents are, so that way when you see it, you have an understanding and it's not just like a puzzle. Oh, how do I fill this out? Oh, what does this mean? You know, we want to make sure that you understand and are aware of the different types of documentations, the different type of notarial certs and languages, so that way you are prepared to notarize any type of document that you are presented with. Thank you for tuning in. If you like, please share, subscribe, and, you know, tell everybody about the books, because I feel like when you have the book and you get to fill it in, it's more hands-on, and everyone learns differently. Some of us going to learn from this video, some of us going to learn from writing in the book, because it becomes memory. You know, you're seeing it, you're writing it, your hands is moving. It helps you memorize it more differently. You know, your hands on. So definitely, and we offer all different types of calls, in person, mock closings. So definitely reach out to the Notary Audio Group on any one of our platforms, and we will be able to assist you. Thank you and have a great day.